Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, if you've had water damage, and I pray that you never need these people, you're going to end up calling these two. I'll tell you why next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you've ever had flood damage or water damage, you know how devastating that can be. You're looking through the phone book or going to Google, you're trying to find somebody who's going to take care of it. A couple of people who know a little something about that, Erika and Randy Herman. They're with 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE, Northeast Dallas, Southeast Colin. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us, Jeff.
Well, I got to start with Snowmageddon because we all remember this, and the power went out, and that caused a lot of burst pipes. Is that right? You want to start, Erika?
Yeah, absolutely. So normally we're waiting for the thaw to happen before water damage occurs. But this event, because everybody lost power, so many people lost power, it happened early. So we got our first call, and it was still -8 degrees outside or something, and we weren't even expecting that really. And the pipes just froze from the extreme cold and started to flood houses and businesses. It was a traumatic thing.
And we should note, Randy, that your power went out. So at a time when you probably needed to call somebody, you're having to serve clients.
That's true. We secured our home, shut the water off, and off we went to help others.
All right, describe that, and we do have some pictures. Tell us about those next few days.
Well, so the next few days was crazy. The phone wouldn't stop ringing, so we were just going from one home to another. The crews would be in the office 7 a.m. and wouldn't get home until the wee hours of the night, or sometimes the next morning.
And you actually did a count. How many people did you serve in the next few weeks?
Erika knows that number really well because she was managing.
We had over, within the first 24 hours, we had over 200 people on our wait list. Not counting the businesses that we serve, our property management company had 72 buildings affected that we're their guy. So we had to be there. So we probably did about 65 to 70 residential clients in that time.
We're going to show some video of you guys working in a home. Tell us the process.
The first step when we get into somebody's home is paperwork, and then we scope the job at that point. Once we've got the job scoped, the crews are coming right in, and it happens very quickly. We're pulling out materials that we know the insurance carriers want us to disregard and get out of the home. And then we start extracting the water and setting up what we call drying systems. So we can dry the structure out and save as much of the property as we can.
And most of the time, the resident is staying in a hotel or with friends?
I think they all wish they were. In some cases, if enough of the home is affected, they're staying in a hotel or with friends. In other cases, if it's a portion of the home, they might choose to stay in their home. And most of the time, it's up to them and their insurance carrier to make that call.
And Erika, what was that like handling those calls? Because I can't imagine people were calm. Like, they're freaking out, aren't they?
They're freaking out, which they should be. It's scary. Your whole house is underwater. Your possessions, you don't know what to do. There's nothing you can do to get the water out. Even if you have a wet dry back at home with that amount of water, usually there's not a whole lot you can do. And yes, they were frantic. My whole team was on the phones, calming people down. Getting names, numbers, addresses, telling everybody, keep calling. We want to help you, but if we can't, we want somebody else to help you. And my biggest advice, which is my hashtag on social media, everything is be kind. when you're in this situation, you're stressed, be kind to the people you're calling. It's going to help you a lot. A lot.
I'm going to ask a very dumb mold question. So if you guys get in and get out and take care of the water immediately, the chances of having a mold issue are greatly reduced?
Oh, yeah, they're greatly reduced. If you have a water loss and you get it under control quickly, we're talking within 3 days, mold can start taking effect. So we want to get in there within that first 24 hours and get that house under control, this environment under control. So we're pulling that moisture out of the structure. And then in that case, you're going to be in a very good situation.
And you do mold remediation, and I've had some friends that say that they had chronic illnesses until they discovered there was mold behind that wall. So let's spend some time talking about why it's so important to have it checked if you have a suspicion that there might be damage.
Yeah, if you have a suspicion that you have some mold remediation work that needs to occur, or you think you're getting ill from that, definitely you want to have a mold remediation consultant come in, do some testing, and they can take air samples. Sometimes we can visually see it. Sometimes we have to open up a wall to visually see it. And at that point, a protocol is written, and then that's when we kick in and do the actual demo and removing of it. Your house all of a sudden looks like there's tents all over because there's walls and barriers that we build to contain so it doesn't spread throughout the home.
Let's talk about insurance, because I know it's kind of a prickly issue in Texas, flood insurance. Some places, I don't think you can get flood insurance in parts of Houston, right? I mean, is most of this stuff covered?
So most things are covered as long as it's not groundwater. Yeah. So during Snowmageddon, which is what I term it, most of that, as long as you had insurance that covered water damage, should be covered. If you live in say you were at your house and your gutters were, not during Snowmageddon, but your gutters were clogged and water gets into your house, that's typically...
Sometimes that could be coined as maintenance, okay? And depending on what your policy says, you might not have coverage on that. And so we always recommend, make sure we're coming into the fall right now, make sure those gutters are cleaned out and the water is flowing away from your home. It's not coming towards the structure. And then you avoid those things.
And do you do commercial and residential, or just residential?
Both.
Oh, okay. What's that like?
Very different, I would say. Commercial is constant all year round. We might see one building multiple times, okay, because there's so many tenants in them. And on the residential side, it's a lot more personal. I mean, everybody's like, this is my home, my property. And so it touches their heart a little bit more. And so we have to be, compassionate on that. And our employees are as well.
Well, I gotta ask a husband-wife team, what's it like to work with your spouse?
It's always an adventure.
Always take words, yeah. Definitely always an adventure.
Well, you have to be really soulmates to work with your spouse, because it's 24/7.
It's 24/7, just like water damage.
Yeah.
24/7.
24/7.
You have to take a break. You have to go out, do some things, enjoy time alone. Sometimes it's okay to stay home if the other wants to go out and just get a little quiet time.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll tell you this, Jeff, this thing.
Sure.
So we were going out to Granbury, and so an hour and a half drive, and we're going out there to look at some things, and she said, let's take your motorcycle. And I said, I love that idea, but she just wanted some quiet time, is what I think it was. I think she just wanted some quiet time.
Smart. We got to talk about COVID, because that probably, there were some safety protocols that your crews had to exercise. What was that like for you?
So it was, we had to pivot our business a little bit. We also own Kim Dry carpet cleaning franchises and a call center, and people didn't want service people in their home unless it was an emergency like a flood. So we started, which we'd been doing for years, but we started doing disinfecting services, sanitizing services. We worked with the city of Garland. We sanitized every police vehicle, ambulance, fire truck, fire station anytime there was a chance that COVID touched anything. which was awesome because we really care about our first responders. And I have to say this, October 28th is First Responders Day. And so we'll be bringing some food to some of our first responder teams. But it was a very different dynamic, learning to be able to let our customers know that we cared about their health, wearing masks, sanitizing our equipment between houses.
Well, I want to give you both a chance to brag about the company itself, because you work with a national company, and there's a reason why you chose this company to align your brand with. Talk about why 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE is the best.
So we went with 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE as a national franchise, but we're owned by Belfour Restoration, which is the world's largest restoration company. Over 300 offices, 9,000 employees, but the support that they can give to us here locally is incredible. When Snowmageddon happened, within 2 days, this city was out of equipment. And we were like, we have this list of clients or potential clients, and there was no more equipment. They rolled their semis down to us, so we would be able to support our clients and the people that had flooded homes.
Outstanding. We only have about a minute left, so I'll let you guys give some final thoughts about the business, where things are going, and how does somebody know when they need you? It's pretty obvious,
Yes.
right? A foot of water in their living room would tell them that.
Right. I mean, we're like Jeff said at the beginning of the call, we hope you don't ever have to call us. Yes. We don't want you to experience a loss in your home. But if you do, we do want you to choose the right people who run a good company, have great employees, have a great team behind them. But always prepare ahead, make sure your house is as waterproof and fireproof as possible, especially coming into the fall season. Check your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide, change those batteries, be prepared.
And I would just echo that. We are there for our clients, people that need us. We don't want to ever have a repeat client in this industry. Unfortunately, it happens sometimes. We had a wonderful lady. We were at her house 3 times in 2 months.
Wow.
And the third time, I just said, no more. I got out and started digging ditches around her house. I said, this is not going to happen again. And so we're there for them. And we have a big support team right behind us.
Outstanding. You both have been amazing. We'll have to have you back again soon. We're going to end with your website. Go ahead and give us the website.
Well, you can go to our national website, 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE. It's easiest to say, 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE.com. Put in your zip code, and any place in Dallas and Collin, Rockwall County, you should find us. Outstanding. Erika and Randy Herman, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.